Every time Honda drops a new Civic, the car community kind of stops for a second, because it's one of those nameplates that has been around forever and somehow keeps staying relevant. And now, the buzz is all about the upcoming 2026 Honda Civic, and I've got to say, it feels like Honda is really leaning into the future with this one. The first thing everyone notices, of course, is the design. The Civic has always had that reputation for being sporty yet practical, and over the years it's gone from edgy and compact to sleek and almost luxury-inspired. For 2026, Honda has taken that clean, modern look from the current generation and sharpened it up even more. Think slimmer headlights with an aggressive LED signature, a bolder front grille that's not overdone but still gives off presence, and a body that just looks planted. The lines along the side are smooth but muscular, like it's hinting at performance without screaming it. Honestly, it's the kind of design that makes you turn your head when you see it rolling by, even if you're not a hardcore car fan. But what really excites me is what's happening under the hood. Honda has confirmed that the 2026 Civic lineup is going hybrid first. Instead of just being a side option, a hybrid is going to be a mainstay, and that's a big shift. We're talking about a setup that blends efficiency with just enough punch to keep the Civic fun to drive. If you've ever driven the current Accord Hybrid or CR-V Hybrid, you know Honda's figured out how to make hybrid tech feel smooth and responsive instead of sluggish. Imagine that same refined system in a lighter, smaller Civic. It's going to feel quick off the line while sipping fuel. And let's be honest, with gas prices doing their thing, that's a win. Now here's something that really caught me off guard. Honda is teasing a version of the Civic with off-road inspired features. Yeah, you heard that right. We're not talking about turning the Civic into a full-on SUV, but more like a rugged trim with a slightly raised suspension, chunkier tires, and protective cladding. Think of it as a Civic that's not afraid to take the long dirt road to a campsite or handle a sketchy back road without scraping its chin. It's kind of Honda's way of tapping into that crossover craze while still keeping the Civic DNA intact. Personally, I think it's pretty cool. It gives buyers more personality options beyond just the Sporty C or the beastly Type R. Step inside, and the Civic keeps raising the bar. The 2026 model takes that minimalist, classy interior we saw in the last redesign and upgrades it with even better materials and more tech. You've got a fully digital gauge cluster, a larger infotainment screen that actually feels integrated instead of tacked on, and finally, wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto as standard. Honda's also pushing more premium touches, like soft-touch surfaces everywhere your hand falls, improved sound insulation, and even optional ambient lighting. It feels less like an affordable compact car and more like something you'd expect from a near-luxury brand. For people who spend hours in their car commuting, that's a huge quality of life improvement. And of course, the big question, what's it going to cost? Honda hasn't given us official numbers yet, but insiders are pointing toward a starting price just under $25,000 for the base model, with the hybrid trims landing in the upper 20s. The rugged off-road inspired trim will probably push past 30, and if you want the fully loaded Touring or C variants, expect mid-30s. The Type R, as always, is going to sit in its own league. But the nice thing is, even with all these upgrades, the Civic is still staying in that sweet spot where it's affordable for younger buyers but nice enough to attract people who might have been considering more expensive cars. When you stack this 2026 Civic against past models, it's honestly kind of wild to see the evolution. Think back to Civics from the early 2000s, small, simple, fun little cars. Then the 2010s gave us bold, angular designs that were a bit love it or hate it. The current generation toned things down, going more mature and upscale. And now, for 2026, it feels like Honda's blending everything they've learned, keeping it stylish, keeping it fun, but also embracing hybrid tech and even experimenting with that adventurous side. It's like the Civic is growing up, but not losing its edge. What makes this so exciting is that the Civic has always been about balance. It's the car you recommend to someone who needs reliability. It's the car enthusiasts mod in their garages, and it's the car that just keeps showing up on Best Buy lists year after year. With this new chapter, Honda's making sure the Civic stays relevant not just for today's drivers, but for the next generation who care about fuel economy, tech, and a little bit of individuality. So yeah, the 2026 Honda Civic isn't just another update, it's a statement. A statement that Honda is ready to evolve one of its most iconic cars while still keeping the soul intact. I can't wait to see it hit the streets, and you can bet it's going to turn a lot of heads, whether you're into cars or not.